You cut the carbs, you're fasting 16 hours a day, and yet that belly fat won't budge, and the 3 p.m. crash hits you like a train. Your doctor says it's normal for your age. I say it's a synchronization failure. They told you your body is broken, that your fatigue, your anxiety, and your inability to lose weight are your fault, a lack of willpower or bad genetics. That is a biological lie. Your body isn't broken, it is trapped in a toxic time zone. It is perfectly executing a survival program for an environment that no longer exists. You are trying to fix a chemical problem with a chemical solution when the problem is temporal. Today, we are going to reset your biological clock. We are going to stop fighting your physiology and start forcing your body to stop protecting itself and start thriving. Welcome to the Dark Clock Protocol. To understand why you feel terrible, we need to look at your body's engine. Imagine your cells are like a car engine. To run, this engine needs fuel and oxygen. When you eat, you are filling the tank. The problem is, most of us are trying to fill a tank that is already overflowing.
There is a hormone called insulin. Think of insulin as the gas station attendant. Its job is to take the fuel, which is glucose or blood sugar, and put it inside the cell to be burned. But what happens when we eat all the time? What happens when we eat sugar and refined carbs every 3 hours? The attendant, insulin, works non-stop. It knocks on the cell door all day. Eventually, the cell gets full. It says, "Enough, nothing else fits in here." It locks the door. This is what we call insulin resistance. When the cell locks the door, sugar gets trapped in your blood. This is toxic. So your body, in a desperate attempt to save you, takes this excess energy and stores it in the only way it still can, as fat. And here is the secret no one tells you. Insulin is not just a storage hormone, it is a blocker. As long as insulin is high in your blood, it is physiologically impossible to burn fat. You can run a marathon, but if your insulin is high, the door to your fat stores is locked. You don't have access to that energy. This is why you feel tired even if you are overweight. You have thousands of calories stored in your belly, but your body can't access them because insulin hid the key. In practice, this means you feel hungry all the time because at a cellular level, you are starving, even though you just ate. So, what is the first step to fix this? It's not counting calories, it is controlling the insulin clock. The first pillar of our protocol is frequency restriction. We've been taught to eat every 3 hours to keep the metabolism revving. This is a myth that is destroying your health. Every time you eat, you spike insulin. If you eat 6 times a day, you have 6 insulin spikes. The level never drops low enough for you to burn fat. Your first practical step tomorrow is simple. Stop snacking.
Eat your meals until you are satisfied, but eat nothing in between. Give your body a gap of at least 4 to 6 hours between lunch and dinner. And most importantly, stop eating at least 3 hours before bed. When you do this, you allow insulin to drop. When insulin drops, the fat storage door unlocks. You finally give your body biological permission to use its own fat as fuel. But insulin is only half the story. There is a second clock controlling your life, and it is likely broken. I'm talking about cortisol. Cortisol is your alarm system. It's the stress hormone. Evolutionarily, it was designed to save you from a tiger. It dumps sugar into the blood so you have quick energy to run or fight. The problem is, today, the tiger is traffic. It's your boss. It's the notifications on your phone. And unlike the tiger, these stressors never go away. You live in a state of constant alarm. And when cortisol is chronically high, it does something terrible. It turns your own muscles into sugar. You heard that right. Constant stress melts your muscles and turns them into glucose, which raises insulin, which stores that energy as fat on your belly. That is why you can be skinny in the legs and arms, but have that dangerous visceral fat in the abdomen. Furthermore, cortisol is the enemy of sleep. It competes with melatonin. If cortisol is high at night because you are stressed or staring at blue screens, you cannot enter deep restorative sleep. Without deep sleep, there is no brain cleaning, there is no repair. You wake up tired with high cortisol, craving sugar, and the cycle repeats.
So how do we turn off this alarm? Here comes the second practical step, the stress off switch. You can't control traffic or your boss, but you can control your response to them. The most powerful tool you have is your breath. The nervous system has 2 modes, fight or flight, or rest and digest. You cannot be in both at the same time. Most of us are stuck in fight or flight. To switch this, you need to activate the vagus nerve, and the fastest way to do that is through rhythmic breathing. In practice, this means you must set aside 5 minutes of your day, perhaps before bed, to breathe deeply. Inhale counting to 4, hold for 4, and exhale counting to 8. By making the exhalation longer than the inhalation, you chemically tell your brain that the danger has passed. You force the body to enter recovery mode. Now that we understand the engine and the alarm, we need to talk about the fuel. If your body is a car, you have been putting in the wrong fuel for decades. You have been running on kindling, refined carbs and sugar that burn fast, generate an energy spike, and then leave you stranded. What you need is solid logs, a slow and steady burn. We are talking about healthy fats and proteins. When you eat a plate of pasta, your blood sugar spikes. Insulin rushes in to clean up the mess. Sugar crashes, and 2 hours later you are shaking with hunger, anxious, and unfocused. This is the glucose roller coaster, and it is impossible to have high performance when your brain is on this roller coaster. The third step of the protocol is the fuel switch.
You need to teach your body to burn fat, not sugar. And to do that, you need to stop giving it sugar. Eliminate added sugar and refined grains. Do not be afraid of natural fat. Eggs, avocado, olive oil, meat, fish. These foods do not spike insulin like bread and pasta. When you eat healthy fats and proteins, you have no insulin spikes. You have stable energy for hours. Your brain, which is mostly fat, loves this fuel. In practice, your breakfast should not be toast with jam. It should be scrambled eggs. Your lunch should not be pasta. It should be a large salad with olive oil and a good portion of protein. By doing this, you stabilize your energy and eliminate brain fog. But there is a detail that separates amateurs from pros in biohacking. It's not just what you eat, it's the quality of what you eat. Processed foods are poison. They are designed to be addictive. They contain inflammatory seed oils like soy and canola that damage your cell membranes and further block your metabolism. Eat real food. Food your grandparents would recognize as food. If it comes in a box with a list of ingredients you can't pronounce, it's not food. It's an edible industrial product. Now, let's put it all together in the dark clock protocol. Imagine your ideal day. You wake up and you don't eat immediately. You let your body use stored fat during the morning. Maybe you have black coffee or tea, but nothing that spikes insulin. You wait for real hunger to arrive. Not habit hunger, but physiological hunger. Maybe that happens at 10 a.m., maybe at noon. Your first meal is rich in protein and good fats. This keeps your insulin low and your energy stable. During the afternoon, you do not snack. You let your digestive system rest. You let the gas station attendant rest. Your last meal is eaten early while there is still daylight if possible. You eat real food, vegetables, proteins. And then you stop. You close the kitchen. At night, you dim the lights. You avoid bright screens that tell your brain it's noon. You do your breathing exercises to turn off the cortisol alarm. You sleep in a dark, cool room, and while you sleep, with no high insulin and no high cortisol, magic happens. Your body releases human growth hormone. This is the youth hormone. It repairs your tissues, builds muscle, and burns fat while you dream. But human growth hormone is shy. It doesn't show up if insulin is high. It doesn't show up if cortisol is high. That is why eating late and sleeping stressed is the recipe for accelerated aging and disease. By following these steps, you are not going on a diet. You are realigning your body with the natural rhythm it was designed for. You will notice constant hunger disappears. That uncontrollable craving for sweets diminishes. Your energy stays stable all day. Belly fat starts getting used as fuel because the door has finally been unlocked. Don't just take my word for it. Test it. Do this for 30 days. Start tomorrow. Skip the snacks. Prioritize proteins and fats over sugar and flour. Breathe before bed. Your body has infinite intelligence. It wants to be healthy. It knows how to be healthy. We just need to stop getting in the way. We need to stop putting in the wrong gas, stop keeping the alarm on 24/7, and stop eating in the wrong time zone. Reset your clock. Reclaim your health. If you want to master health by understanding how the body really works, keep watching, because this isn't about living forever. It's about living with vitality while we are here.